Hello everyone, this side Diksha Ahuja. Welcome back to my channel Economic Zone by Diksha Ahuja. So in today's video, we'll do the revision of the chapter Rural Development in an Economy of Class 12. Right? I have covered this chapter in 3 parts, right? 3 videos. So now I'll recapitulate the entire content, the entire chapter, major topics and important topics in a one video to decapsulate the entire chapter in one go. So let's start up, and if you really like the videos, do like and subscribe the channel. So let's start. So let us know the content of the chapter again. So the chapter includes the meaning of rural development. Then we will understand the process or the issues involved in rural development. And then the rural credit, why the rural people need credit. Then sources of rural credit, the institutional and non-institutional sources. Critical appraisal of rural banking, whether they are good or bad. Agriculture marketing system, what are the measures we took to improve or what we can take to improve agriculture marketing. Then diversification, we've understood, of agriculture activities. It can be in crop production or in productive activity. So then we understood various non-farm areas of employment. Then we got to know the sustainable development and the need for it. And lastly, we evaluate the total rural development we did and what are the main points that need to be considered. So let's revise. So what is mean by rural development? Actually, it was a continuous and comprehensive socio-economic process, एक ऐसा process in which we are socially and economically changing the rural area continuously. So rural development means continuous and comprehensive development or socio-economic process attempting to improve all the aspects of rural life. So what are the aspects we need to improve? We need to know that. So what are the process or what are the issues of rural development? So various issues were human resource development, including the education, skill development, on-the-job training, etc. Land reforms, we wanted that the tiller of the land should become the owner of the land. The local resources such as infrastructure needs to be improved, right? Local resources such as transportation and all, right? So basically development of local resources and infrastructure are linked to each other, right? So we are saying that the nearby places and the infrastructure including electricity, roads, railways, right, irrigation facilities, these should be improved. And then lastly, poverty alleviation program should be there, and there should be development of productive resources. That means there should be generation of employment generation programs through which we can improve the rural areas, rural people in an integrated manner. So these all are the points that needs to be taken care while doing rural development. So next is importance of rural credit. Why the rural people need credit? As we know that farmers need credit because there's a long time gap between the crop sowing and the crop realization, right? Realization of income. So credit is needed to buy seeds, fertilizers, implements, and basically long term loans for land, etc. Also, but the main importance is just the gap between the sowing and harvesting period. So, what are the sources of rural credit? We understood in the parts of the videos that rural credit includes institutional and non-institutional sources. Non-institutional sources include money lenders, landlords. They charge very high rate of interest and exploit the peasants and the cultivators. On the other hand, friends and relatives do leave the farmers, or you can say they do not charge high interest rate. Right. On the other hand, institutional credits include cooperative credit, commercial banks, regional rural banks, the government, NABARD, self-help groups. So the main two words, self-help group and NABARD only. So we're gonna cover both these very carefully. So what is NABARD? NABARD was initiated in 1982. As you remember, NABARD, the full form is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So what is the importance of this NABARD? Actually, NABARD promotes health and strength of credit institutions. Basically, वो क्या करता है? He coordinates the functioning of various financial institutions, right? Those who are helping in expanding the rural credit. And the other main function also to provide financial assistance to non-farm sectors also, so that an integrated rural development can take place. On the other hand, self-help group was initiated just because the farmers, or you can say the poor laborers, were not having the collateral to pay. Right? तो उनको कौन loan देगा? For this microfinance, the self-help group bank linkages were started. So they targeted, actually, you know what, to whom they targeted? They targeted mainly small and marginal farmers, agricultural and non-agricultural laborers, artisans, etc. So self-help group promote small savings and need to be given. Right after that, small minimum contribution is given by every member. From the pool money, the needy member is given the loan at a very reasonable interest rate, and which is to be repaid in a very small installments. So you know what? By 2012, 43 lakh self-help group report किए गए थे, and self-help group was basically initiated for the improvement of women. And you know what? The borrowing was done mainly for the consumption purposes, and the negligible was done for productive purposes. Next topic we need to understand is agriculture marketing. Right. Before this, rural banking was having various issues also. So I have covered that in the parts of the videos. The other main topic is agriculture marketing. As you know, it is a process from starting from the farmer to the consumer. So which involves assembling, storage, processing, transportation, packaging, grading, and distribution of various agriculture commodities in the economy. So what are the measures of agriculture market? Is what we can do to improve agriculture marketing? Just think of, if you remember, we need to improve agriculture marketing through regulated markets. How to improve regulated markets? Because the farmers are being exploited by big traders, उनके पास storage facility नहीं होती, we have lack of knowledge. So we want the market to be transparent. कैसी होनी चाहिए market? The transparent according to the farmers, so that they cannot be exploited by the sellers or brokers, or they should not be engaged in the malpractices of sellers and brokers. Infrastructural facilities are needed in the agriculture marketing. What kind of infrastructure is needed? Let's know all these one by one. So all four are regulated markets, infrastructural facilities, cooperative marketing, different policy instruments. So regulated market, as I explained, that regulated market were formed to protect the farmers from malpractices of sellers and brokers. And infrastructural facilities includes all the like roads, railways, warehouses, cold storage that is needed for the farmers to maintain agriculture marketing. Cooperative marketing, you know that all the farmers can come together and sell their produce, so that collective bargaining का वो benefit ले सके, right? All together, when all the farmers will stand together and say that they want to sell their product at this price. Let's say the farmer wants to say, I will sell my produce at 20 rupees kg, right? So the traders had to agree, right, in that case. So cooperative societies are the societies when farmers come together and have strong bargaining power to get a better price. The Gujarat is one of the famous examples for milk cooperatives. They do it for milk. They collectively stand and ask for a better price of milk. So different policy instruments include MSP, maintenance of buffer stock done by Food Corporation of India, and public distribution system done for the poor people, the fair price of the ration shops. Right. So these are the measures we can take for agriculture marketing. Then the topic which is very important is diversification of agricultural activities. That includes the diversification of crop production and diversification of productive activities. So both are very important, right? In what case? So by diversifying the crop production, we can produce more than one crop on one land. It will increase the income of the farmers, right? Anyhow, what is the main target? The main target is to increase the income of the farmers, right? So income of the agriculture sector, income of the rural area. So what is the other way around? The other way around is diversification of productive activities. We can shift the workforce from agriculture to non-agriculture sector, basically non-farm sector. So next topic to recapitulate is same only. We will recapitulate the non-farm activities. Diversification of crop production, that means a shift of single cropping to multiple cropping system. So diversification of productive activities can include animal husbandry, dairying, fishing, horticulture, and information technology. So let's know the brief of all one by one. So first is animal husbandry. As you know, animal husbandry means livestock farming, in which we are here care the farm animals. It increases the food security, stability of income of the families without disrupting the other food activities. So in which women are also growing, right? Women can also find employment in livestock sector. 70 million small and marginal farmers and landless laborers got employment in this sector. Right. Next is dairying. Dairying means rearing and caring of dairy animals for the production of milk. So you must have heard about Operation Flood System, right, which was actually for the initiation of milk production, in which we were saying that there should be cooperatives. The White Revolution, in which we are saying the different grades of milk was going from rural areas to urban area in a proper bulk amount, right? It was going. So Gujarat is again the main example through which the milk cooperatives were famous. जहाँ से हमें we are saying cooperatives are being formed, cooperative marketing is being formed, through which we can earn good incomes in rural areas. Next is fisheries. So fisheries is very one of the important aspect, or you can say non-farm activity in rural areas. It requires the processing and selling of fish in the market. Right? What are the important points? Actually, fishing community, you know what, considers water body as mother, because they provide livelihood. The volume of fish production, you know that 64% comes from inland sources and 36% comes from marine sector like sea and ocean. Then fishing in GDP share, so you can say 0.8% it covers in total GDP, and Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Kerala, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, other states in fishing. Right, women is also involved in fishing. So next is horticulture. What do you mean by horticulture? It is a science, like you can say, like a way in which the fruits and vegetables can be cultivated. So how much it contributes? It contributes 1/3 of the agriculture sector and 6% of the GDP. World production is also very good. India is one of the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. So basically, producing fruits and vegetables is known as horticulture. It has definitely improved the economic conditions of the farmers, apart from growing cash crops and food grains. This is information technology, the last one. This is very important. What we do in this, we just retrieve the information and store and transmit the information. So these tools, these software tools are used for searching the areas of food insecurity. कि कहाँ पर food की कमी है, so that we can go there and prevent the case of emergency and scarcity, right? And on the other hand, it has a positive, very positive impact on agriculture sector, as it circulates information for technologies related to future prices, for weather forecasts, soil conditions, right, for growing different crops. So information technology plays a very important role in rural development. Next, we need to understand the need for sustainable development in agriculture sector, because we know we are using very bad technologies such as chemical fertilizers, toxic pesticides for food supply and all. That is bad, right? This is known as conventional agriculture. But this need to be done for eco-friendly kind of production, which is also known as organic farming, right? This is introduced, but it is actually not in favor, so we'll not move further in this topic. But it is very important for sustainable development, that development which is good for the economy, right? For the future people of the economy. So last, we have to evaluate the rural development. So what we need, still the diversification is to be stressed on, right? There is a need to improve employment in dairying, poultry, fishing, and vegetables and fruits. There's a need to link rural and urban areas, right? So that better investment can take place in rural areas and the food production can increase. Then better facilities need to be required, like better MSP prices, minimum support prices are required, farmer friendly agriculture policies are required, right? We want agriculture department to work betterly. And lastly, more emphasis should be done on sustainable development. Eco-friendly technologies should be used in rural development. So overall, the rural areas can be developed by using farming and non-farming activities both. So this is done with the chapter. Thank you. Bye-bye for today.